you don't really know what you're doing when you're drunk. And that was me with money. Hello everyone, como está café? I'm Jasmine. I'm a wife. I'm a stay-at-home mom to a toddler, and I currently have $170,000 in consumer and student loan debt. And I want to share with you how I got here and how I plan to be debt-free. If you're curious to know my debt story, then definitely keep on watching. I feel like I have to go back in time, right? Because I think it's key to understand how it is we grew up, to understand how our relationship is with money, right? I grew up with my dad for the most part, and he was the type of person to spend money on Italian suits and shoes and belts. And there were times when we struggled financially. That I could remember several times where he didn't pay the electric bill, and I had to use the back of my light up sneaker to figure out where I was going. We had several situations like that, and he was a taxi driver, a New York City taxi driver who had a medallion, and a medallion is almost like the equivalent of a mortgage, and it was a very expensive medallion. And so he struggled, and therefore we all struggled, right, to make it in New York City. In terms of my mom didn't really struggle in terms of paying bills per se. She always paid her bills, I can definitely tell you that. However, she would buy lots of things. She likes stuff. It's almost like once she's done paying her bills, she would pay just as much on stuff for herself, which, listen, I can't knock it, but to me personally, a lot of the stuff she bought was kind of unnecessary, but that's neither here nor there. That's how I grew up. I grew up in a situation of having less money at the end of your month. I grew up on prioritizing things and not prioritizing savings as much. My relationship with money was pretty much me spending it, and then me thinking about what I actually spent my money on later. It was all kind of like a blur, It was kind of like, and I hate to compare it to being drunk or whatever, but like you don't really know what you're doing when you're drunk. And that was me with money. I would spend it, and then when I had no more money left, I was wondering, what did I spend it on exactly? It was like a habitual thing, if you will. So then fast forward to when I was in college, several things happened, right? I was in a special program in undergrad where, because my dad was low income, we actually went to school for free. And on top of that, we got money from the school every semester. I'm talking like maybe $2,500 to $5,000 a semester or something like that. Now, if you ask me where that money is right now, I don't even know. I can tell you though, I did spend it on an ex. I'm not proud of the situation. I bought fur coats, Converse sneakers, Prada shoes, Prada bags, you name it. I spent most of my money on that scrub, and I didn't put money aside to save. And years later, I thought about all of the money I spent on him. I could have put a down payment on a beautiful brownstone in Brooklyn and just would have been set for life. You know what I mean? I feel a little crunchy about that, I'm not gonna lie, but I had to learn the hard way. And the hard way I did. Once I graduated college, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. I did go to school for political science, and I figured maybe I can just get a job in the government. Someone suggested to me that I go to grad school. So I was like, you know what? I didn't really know what I wanted to do with myself in terms of career. So I was like, you know what? Why not? I signed up for grad school. I got accepted into grad school. The thing with grad school, they don't give you money back every semester. No. You have to pay. I did. I actually ended up getting a student loan. It was $20,000 a year for a total of $60,000. I got my master's in 2013 in urban policy and public administration. And then I actually ended up getting a really good government job. I worked at a New York State Assembly person's office. I got a great salary, 401k match. I got my holidays off. It was a good time, and I even was able to put money in savings. I was even able to save up money for traveling. I was able to afford my apartment comfortably without any issues, without any financial struggles or anything like that. I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened, right? When my dad passed in 2016, I wanted to make sure that I lived a life where I was pursuing my passions, right? He was a taxi driver, but he always wanted to do photography. That was his thing. I wanted to make sure that my life was spent doing something that I loved, which was video editing. So I decided to apply for a post-production program. You know what's so funny? My acceptance letter was in my spam, okay? I was just gonna not think anything of it. I thought, oh, maybe they didn't accept me or whatever. And then I checked my spam, and then they did. And that pretty much changed the course of my life because I wasn't able to juggle both the film program and my government job. So I had to make a decision. I decided to find a part-time job that had no benefits, that paid less, where I was able to be flexible with my film program. I got fired less than a year later from that job. I was out of a position for a while. Thankfully, I still had savings and I was pretty much good living off of savings as well as like money from sponsorships, doing content creation and that sort of thing. So that wasn't a big deal. But looking back, I shouldn't have quit my government job. Yes, I was unhappy and yes, I was feeling unfulfilled, but it was stable, it was comfortable, and it was consistent monies. And if I stayed there for 5 more years, my first master's program would have been forgiven due to the public service loan forgiveness program, because working for government and nonprofit qualifies for student loan forgiveness. Yes, I'm still kicking myself about that. Okay. After I graduated from my film program in 2020, I did end up getting a job as an assistant video editor, and that paid decent money, which I was very happy with. After meeting Mr. Man and after deciding that I wanted to move to Connecticut, I had to let go of that job because they wanted me to be there in person, and I'm not commuting 2.5 hours one way to Brooklyn and then back to Connecticut. Like, it just wasn't gonna work. I had to let go of that, and also I did rent out a studio space for like filming and editing because I had a really loud upstairs neighbor to where I couldn't really focus on creating content. So I ended up getting a studio space that was like maybe $1,100 to $1,200 a month, and that really dug into my savings. I'm not even gonna lie, like I spent damn near $10,000 plus on that studio for me to just have 2 clients and for me to hardly even be there because it was a long story, y'all. I made some pretty not so wise decisions, to say the least. After moving to Connecticut, I applied for the PPA grant they were giving to self-employed people, and I was actually approved for a $15,000 grant, a grant that I didn't have to pay back. Incredible, amazing. What did I do with that money? I spent it on a 5-day trip to San Francisco, and I could have done without San Francisco. I would have probably been better off going like Portugal or Barcelona or something like that. San Fran was nothing to write home about. I'm gonna just keep it a buck with you. I just felt like it was a waste of money. The hotel was nice though, but San Fran itself, it was mid. And I'm sorry to whoever lives in San Fran. $15,000. I didn't spend $15,000 on the trip. I don't know what I spent the rest of the money on. Again, this is what I mentioned earlier about being drunk and then not remembering what you did. That was me with the money. I kind of spent it and I don't even remember what I spent it on or why I spent it on those certain things. So it was $15,000 down the drain. I tried to get a job in Connecticut. It was very, very hard. So I ended up having to dip into my credit cards. It got to the point where I maxed out most of my credit cards because that's all I had to survive on. It was becoming really difficult for me to pay, so I decided to reach out to each of my credit card companies so that they can put me on a special program. Those programs were temporary. They probably lasted like 6 months, and then after the 6 months the interest rate rose up again. It got harder for me to pay, so I ended up having to join a debt management program to where I get no interest rates on the payments that I have to make. However, once I pay it off, which will be in 5 years, my credit cards will close down, which means my credit score will be kaput. So that's my situation. I currently owe $16,000 in credit card debts, and I owe around $140,000 in student loans. Now my student loans are in deferment, so I don't have to pay anything yet, but the interest is still accruing. When I first left grad school, it was at 120K. Now it's like 140K or something like that. The interest is just crazy. Don't be like me. Don't use money that you don't have. So while this is a season of challenges for me financially, I feel like this was what I needed to be more aware of what my relationship with money is. And let me tell you this. Number one, I feel more comfortable with cash. When I have a debit card in my hand, it's like the money is infinite and I'm not checking how much money is left in my account. That is no good for me. I need to know exactly how much I have in my hand in terms of cash. It forces me to make better decisions and to narrow down on things that I really, really need and then want. So that's why cash stuffing has been such a game changer for me, and I started binge watching tons of videos on it, and it's helped me out so much, and I'm so grateful. And I tell my sister to do it. I tell hubby he should try it. Anyone that I love and care about, I'm telling them about cash stuffing because it is that amazing. In terms of my game plan and current resources, I currently work part-time at a gym. That's my first job. My second job is a video editor. It was a gig I found on Upwork. And then my third job, I clean a beautiful home in Middle Haddam twice a month, and that pays really nice. I got those 3 sources of income. Oh, and of course I have my monies from YouTube that I get once a month on my main channel. So those are all of my sources of income at the moment. It's definitely not enough to pay my monthly credit card payment of $485, and I'm so thankful to hubby because he's paying that for me and I can just focus on saving. So I'm really appreciative of him for taking that on. The goal for me is to make enough money to where I can take over those debt payments and to where I can pay off that debt early. It's supposed to be fully paid off within 5 years, but I would like to pay it off much sooner than that because I do think DMP takes a portion of that every month. If I could save on that, that'd be great. In terms of my student loan debt, I do have a plan for that I will probably discuss in a later video a few months down the line. I want to make sure everything is set in stone first before I announce anything. Just know that I have a plan for that. Another goal that I have is to save up $1,000 in emergency savings. I currently have $100 in emergency savings right now. It's a very slow build, but I'm really enjoying the process of seeing my money grow before my eyes. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm probably gonna do some fun saving challenges with that. And the goal after that would be to save at least 1 month's worth of expenses in the emergency fund. But first we got to get to 1,000. The next goal that I have is to contribute at least $1,000 to my Roth IRA. I currently have about like $530, but the monies that I get from YouTube will completely go into my Roth, which is fine because I get about maybe like $120 a month from YouTube. Another goal that I have is to create a custodial IRA for baby girl. I want to make sure that she is good when she is older. I do not want her to struggle the way I had to, and I don't even want to use the word struggle. I'm going to use the word challenged. I don't want her to be challenged financially in the way that I was challenged, and I want to make sure that she has a great, amazing relationship with money and that she is saving and she is learning the importance of investing and all that good jazz. It is important to start them young. My last-ish goal is to save at least $600 before May. We do have a vacation that month, which the vacation is paid off. The $600 is just spending money. On top of that, I am working on a sinking fund for our passports. Before I leave you here today, I do have some advice. 4 things that I should have told myself back then. Number 1, do not spend what you do not have. Charging my credit cards left and right left me in a really crazy situation that feels challenging to get out of. It's gonna happen with time, with patience, with perseverance, with persistence. Find a way to make money. Do DoorDash, do odd jobs, do whatever you can to make sure you have the money outside of the credit card. It'll be so helpful. Number 2, don't quit your day job. I didn't realize how good I had it until I didn't have it anymore. Me quitting my government job is definitely something I regret. And another thing I regret is going to grad school for a post-production degree when I could have just learned how to edit on YouTube. I didn't need to spend $60,000 on a video editing degree. To be honest with you, I don't think I needed to spend $60,000 on an urban policy and public administration degree either. Number 3, ask for help when you need it. For me, it was really hard asking for help. You know, in my family, I'm known as the strong, independent one, the one who always finds a way to make it out. I guess I just didn't want to let anybody down. And I also didn't want people to worry either. You know, when you ask for help, it's a telltale sign that, you know, not everything is on the up and up. And that's what family's there for. They're there to lift you up. They're your safety net. And the last tip I have is to spend less than what you make. This is really the only way to save a considerable amount of money to pay off debts or to save for a house or whatever type of purchase you want to make. I wasn't taught about savings early in life, but I'm not going to let that stop me. I've learned from all the challenges. I am making a concerted effort to change my story and change the trajectory of my life. So I am excited to be on this journey of financial freedom. I hope that you are as well. I look forward to hearing some of your financial challenges in the comment section, whether they're challenges or whether they're success stories. I would love to just learn more about you guys, and then we can just kiki together. That is all that I have for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed and found this video informative. If this resonated with you, please let me know. Give this video a thumbs up. Hit me up in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I look forward to being in this financial journey with all of you, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.